Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make him a throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat, and not first the poor. Make up what I seen to make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red, how they want to see. They didn't can sell out Rasta, and sell it out, I sell out Babylon. They give man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see. They didn't can sell out Rasta, I sell out, I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the right. If I throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black if I throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big man Joe bad feeling to awaken men. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to awaken men.
Stevie dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no keep, and some informer friend we lovely. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV. Check it.
Good evening, and welcome to the People's Point of View. Thank you for joining us. On the case and call crowd. We not there for long. We just come boss liberty tonight. Does anyone know Paul Brown? He was running for a seat but outvoted by a delegate. Does anyone know Paul Brown? And if you don't know anything about Paul Brown and you want the village to know about Paul Brown, tell them Global TV is going to bust liberty on Paul Brown tonight. We're going to bust liberty on Paul Brown. So we're not there for long, we're just there for bust liberty. So call the entire village. Tell them, say, we catch another JLP thief trying to sneak into the public purse. Because Paul is only coming to do one of the androism. You know, the come to enrich yourself, Paul. Never mind. We'll get to Paul after the howdy do's. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good evening and welcome. Thank you all for joining us on this or all fool day, or if you want to call it Tom fool day, or whichever one of the fool day. How no do? YouTube and TikTok. Good evening and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Sharon Bernard, good evening. Debbie Jervis TV. Good evening, Marjorie Lewis Dulcie Lane, I think that's correct. Sometime I can go off rails. Who else is here? Beat and Teach. Yes, good evening to you. Good evening. Who else have I seen? Good evening, Canadian gal, Nora Harris. Good evening, Monica Wills, Marcia Thomas, Unique Ray, Catherine Hypeness. Good evening. Good evening, Michael Nipper, Carlene, Robert Honeywell, Rennie Nicholson. Good evening, all, and welcome. Let me see who is on the tick. Color and Beat and Teach. Good evening. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. To those of you on the flare, I cannot see you, but welcome to Global TV. Thank you for joining us. On a call, does anyone here knows Christina Tyne, Jamra, Catherine, hold on. Does anyone know Paul Brown? Mr. Brown. Does anyone knows Paul Brown? Paul Brown was running for a JLP seat. Does anyone knows Paul Brown? Look like nobody not there know nothing about Paul Brown. Sophie. Nobody not there know anything about Paul Brown. I want to shed some light on Paul Brown. Even though Paul Brown was voted by delegates, Paul Brown seemed to still play hardball with his supporters. You will listen to the very short clip for yourself. Then me, myself, as someone who lives in the United Kingdom, Claudette, how are you? As a frequent visitor to Erdington in Birmingham, Paul Brown, I may be able to shed some light on you. Even though the delegates may have stopped you from heading to the public purse, we don't know if Conjo have other plans up his sleeve. So we want the people to know that this is just another puss. Let us look at this very short clip, and then we have some questions to ask Mr. Brown.
General elections. He defeated businessman Paul Brown in a runoff on Sunday with 73 votes to 52. Mr. Brown, while acknowledging defeat, urged his disappointed supporters to move forward and do what is needed to ensure the JLP wins the constituency.
36 years. And if somebody wants to represent this constituency have to meet all factions and come together. If the person wins, you want to meet our persons, our people here. I'm happy to meet with them.
Our people here, you heard the Birmingham accent there. Our people here, the Birmingham accent.
General elections. He defeated businessman Paul Brown in a runoff on Sunday with 73 votes to 52. Mr. Brown, while acknowledging defeat, urged his disappointed supporters to move forward and do what is needed to ensure the JLP wins the constituency.
36 years. And if somebody wants to represent this constituency have to meet all factions and come together. If the person wins, you want to meet our persons, our people here. I'm happy to meet with them. Until they're big enough to do that, then they will stand where they are. Do you think, my final question, do you think you are the most suitable person?
Mr. Brown's supporters are questioning the process, claiming that prior to the selection exercise, Mr. Powell had already been interviewed.
I don't know, but the message coming from Mr. Brown looks a bit subliminal to me, Mr. Brown. It's not your subliminal message. It's not your subliminal message, Mr. Brown, that I'm really concerned about at this point. You will not deny, Mr. Brown, that you used to live in the United Kingdom, particularly in Birmingham, particularly in my neck of the woods, Mr. Brown, Erdington. I'm not hearing anything. Hold on, let me check my mic. If everybody hear me, can you type in and tell Marcia to refresh her system? Let me check. My mics are okay. Type in the chat and tell Marcia to refresh her system. Mr. Brown. I don't know how long Mr. Brown is back living in Jamaica. But Mr. Brown was a resident of Erdington. Hold on. Is the fan making the noise? All right, let me turn off the fan. Now I'm going to make me sweat, you know, because in here warm. Turn on the fan in order not to sweat, because the weather is changing now, so my house is becoming warmer. So anyway, Never mind that. We'll just have to sweat through it. Eh? We will just have to sweat our way through it. Mr. So-and-so lived in Birmingham. But what I want Mr. Brown to tell us, what track record is it, Mr. Brown? Leave aside for now how you got, you're a businessman in Jamaica. Leave aside for now how you got your money to start your business when you went home. Leave that aside. What track record is it, Mr. Brown? I wish you could come out here and tell the people, what track record are you running on? What is your resume, Mr. So-and-so? What is your resume? What have you done in Jamaica and in the United Kingdom that you can say, this is what I'm bringing to the table, and this is how I can assist my constituency. These are the works, project, policies, or what. What is your track record? What are you coming on? Is it the car salesman thing? Or is it the running a care home? No. You were married in the United Kingdom, Mr. Brown, weren't you? Tell us, Mr. Brown, anything while you were living in the United Kingdom that you, Paul Brown, put your hands at that worked. What was it, Paul Brown, that you, when you was living in the United Kingdom, particularly in Birmingham, what was it that you put your hand to that work? Who is it, Paul Brown, that you never try to con out of them life bread if given the chance, Mr. Brown? What record is it that Mr. Brown is running on? The car salesman that you used to be, Mr. Brown? The con artist? The Mr. Brown where everything in touch crash? Or is it, Mr. Brown, the care home where you did claim say you run, where everything, Mr. Brown, that you touch, rudum dum dum come tumbling down upon you, Mr. Brown? What do you have to offer the people of Jamaica? Because you want to go in our representative, you know. You want to go into our parliament. What do you have to offer, Mr. Brown? Because fan we know me know about you. You con and trick and thief people. Every little con you can get to con somebody out of something, bro, Mr. Brown. Every mash up you can get to mash up anything. You go in for people, Mr. Brown. What it is that you have to offer, that's you want coming at House of Representatives, sir. Your business. Remember, we're not there for long, you know. We just come bust Liberty Pan Brown. Because we see Brown a run for seat. We see another Andrewist and another Andrewism coming only for the public purse because money a Brown problem. About your wife, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, your wife. I notice you have matrimonial band on your fingers, Mr. Brown. Is it your wife from Erdington who went home with you, or have you remarried in Jamaica, Mr. Brown? Let's play the video again because I want you to identify the matrimonial band on Mr. Brown's hand. don't know if Mr. Brown and his wife in the United Kingdom made up, or he's still wearing the band, or Mr. Brown is remarried. I don't know. Let us listen to Mr. Brown one more time.
General elections. He defeated businessman Paul Brown in a runoff on Sunday with 73 votes to 52. Mr. Brown, while acknowledging defeat, urged his disappointed supporters to move forward and do what is needed to ensure the JLP wins the constituency.
36 years. And if somebody wants to represent this constituency have to meet all factions and come together. If the person wins, we want to meet our persons, our people here. I'm happy to meet with them.
No, sorry. That ring is on his right hand. So sorry about that. But Mr. Brown was married in the United Kingdom, living with his wife in Erdington, Birmingham. I wonder where Mr. Brown got the money from to start his business in Jamaica. Because I know a businessman normally love going to politics if you don't have the education to become doctor, lawyer, and chief of this and chief of that. Then you try go through the business route. Mr. Brown, before he left the United Kingdom, did the dirty on his wife. I can't be sure where he got the money to start his business from, but I can assume, I can speculate for the reasons that Mr. Brown sold the house and left his wife high and dry, homeless in the United Kingdom, Mr. Brown. I'm just wondering if that's how you went to Jamaica and become a businessman, if it's that money that you use where you sell the house behind your wife, left your wife homeless and high and dry, Mr. Brown. Was that the money that you used to start your business tycoonery in Jamaica? And is it, Mr. Brown, that you feel very annoyed because you have spent up a lot of your business money holding the seat, but rather the delegates are being paid, Mr. Brown, or they know, like I do, that you're a rocketeer and a con man. So them say, you know what? Look what Andrew doing. Look what Andrew is doing to us now. Car Brown come. It's pretty much more of the same. We have to ball out, Mr. Brown. Because when we see fanfare say it's a thief coming, we see fanfare say it was a thief coming when Andrew coming up. And the older we put we hand over we eye like we a dance bad man she love like Babsy. And we look the other way. Look what wholeness are doing we now. So we make sure, Mr. Yudes, sir, we ball out when we soon will come because we know that thief will not come thief, you know. It is clear to all of us now that we're not going to politics for do good. We're not going to politics for thief. Mr. Brown, you have conned and robbed enough when you was living in the United Kingdom. Good God, you set up yourself out of probably robbing and tricking your wife and you want to run off to Jamaica with the money and set up yourself, good God Almighty, leave the public purse. You make it out of stealing already. How far you think you can go?
Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody. Man or woman.
Pickpocket Andrew. Lift shot Andrew. Scissors finger Andrew. You know you only place Paul Brown there because Paul Brown is a good thief. That's the only, and Paul Brown is probably a good dunce as well. Because nothing Paul Brown put him hand to in England never work, Prime Minister. Ask Paul Brown to show your CV. Him a salesman. Him a care home owner. Him a operator for care home. Him this. Tell Paul Brown to show your CV, Prime Minister. But then again, you don't care about CV neither. So that is totally irrelevant for you. You tell we say all them need to be is disciplers.
Send it back. Every evil arrow. Anywhere he come from. Send it back. If a China, if a Jamaica, if a Haiti, where he come from, we send it back. Turn, reverse the curse. Reverse the curse. Reverse the order. Reverse the curse. Reverse the order. Somebody said, reverse the curse. Yeah. Reverse the order. Somebody reverse the curse. Reverse the order over Jamaica. Reverse the curse, mighty God. Reverse the order. Yeah. If a king's house, if a garden house.
Jamaicans have some ways of stitching some things together to make it look like, say, it goes so fit true. But alarm, oh, another thief is coming. We don't know, just like how Andrew do it down a place where he send feather go push on pan them. Without a cause, we don't know if Andrew Holness is going to push on thieving Paul pan the people them what the people them don't want. Because Andrew knows Paul Brown is a good pair of stolen hands. And I don't know say them hand the Andrew love. Mr. Brown don't, in a real world, Mr. Brown don't have the qualification for them something here. And Mr. Brown, if you not try coming in politics, I want to also know, when you was living in the United Kingdom, were you living on a resident visa or did you have your British citizenship? Because all I know need to get rid of no citizenship. Mark Golden set the precedent, you know, call for it, and anyone who in our legislature, you know, need to renounce on a British citizenship. So we are waiting to see if Andrew go enforce it upon the people. Because to say, if It goes so. Another thief is on the horizon. Come here, tell you, Paul Brown, a con artist. Paul Brown is a con man. And what Paul Brown need to do is to come out here and show him CV. Paul Brown need to come out here and show we in CV. Show the successes of his track record. And that we want to find your Paul. Because we know, I know. Sorry, my babes. Sorry. I know Paul Brown that you not successful in a nothing because you're just a con man and a crook. The truth be told. Zeta Blake, how are you? Derek Gale. Crook, you are. Queen Dainty. I'm trying to find a piece of Nesta for you. Nesta tells some sparklight today where I want us to watch together, because what I gathered, if you were watching Parliament today, based on the questions put forward, Wagwan, by members of the People's National Party, they are being sabotaged under the Spark program. Stacey, and how you do? From what I gathered, based on the questions asked, members of the People's National Party are being sabotaged by Nestor Morgan and Andrew Holness, who leads the program, when it comes to roads submitted under the program as priority. But let's listen some of this together, because Nesta says something that 50% finish. Tribridge is a wonder. Them love take pictures so much and they can't go to Tribridge, go take no picture. They can only tell we say half and half, quarter and quarter and all that. But they can never show you a picture of Tribridge. But Nestor Morgan said Tribridge 50% complete. 50% in say. I wanted a something in say 5% I hit complete. Never mind when we work out the 5%, I will tape measure and use to measure the percentage. Never mind them.
The government's unwavering commitment.
Hold on.
Work, sorry.
Yes, that's where I want it from. The blunder of this line.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Copies are on their way. The Parliament is in possession of them. Today I rise to essentially reaffirm the government's unwavering commitment to modernizing Jamaica's infrastructure and improving the quality of life for our citizens, ensuring sustainable economic growth. We are a government that delivers on its promises, one that is seized of the varied needs of our people and is taking decisive action to meet them.
We don't have to listen to Nesta and decide for yourself. To me, Nesta can be lying. To some of your ears, he might actually be telling the truth. But I want you to listen to Mr. Morgan for yourself and tell me if Mr. Morgan was lying or Mr. Morgan was telling the truth.
Them. Through strategic investment, integrated planning, and efficient.
Minister, just a minute, please.
Why are you interfering with this speech? And you know you're getting the copies. The copies are on its way.
They ought to be circulated before you start speaking. You JLP people regularly do this. When you get up and rise in a parliament and start speaking on no say the speech or whatever you go talk about must be circulated before you start talk. You always slap it tidy and behind time JLP and tracker and passa.
Minister, continue, please. What happened?
Mr. Speaker, no, Mr. Speaker, member, please.
Members, please,
Member
members.
from Southwest St. Catherine. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, we appreciate that there is indeed a standing practice, and we adhere to this practice. So we were about to ask for slight recess to allow for the printed statement to reach, but it is here, and therefore we can now ask the member to resume his statement.
Minister, can you continue your statement, please?
You know, I was gonna not. I brought two speeches today.
Members, please. Members.
House Leader, I brought two speeches today.
Members.
They look like they want me to read the second one. I'll continue with the first one because it's the beginning of the financial year. I want to start by giving an update to the House on the Spark program.
Nesta with
The shared prosperity through accelerated improvement to our road network Spark project represents a bold step forward in our national development agenda. With a $45 billion contract awarded, work commenced last December, and we have already issued 3 work orders covering 100 and.
Me no want to not play no, no listen well. And then start talk, you have to listen. You can't get distracted here, so. And then start talk.
26 roads in 63 constituencies. Today, I will announce an additional 42 roads, which will be included in Work Order 4. Spark, as we all know on this side, will revolutionize road development and improvement in our country. The initiative will improve our economic efficiency, bolster our tourism appeal, and create employment opportunities. It is projected to generate over 13,000 direct jobs during construction, while delivering an estimated $1.3 billion in savings from vehicle cost reductions, enhanced service accessibility, and strengthened community connectivity. The scope of Spark includes the rehabilitation of main, local, and community roads, addressing pavements, selected intersections, sidewalks, drainage, and retaining walls. The project integrates water infrastructure upgrades, also includes fiber optic ducting to support broadband activity. A crucial element of the program is a $5 billion investment in water pipeline upgrades, synchronized with roadworks to minimize disruptions. I'll now announce to the House Work Order 4. We would have had Work Order 1, 2, and 3. I would have announced Work Order 1 previously. I thought it appropriate to announce Work Order 4. Let me explain the context of Work Order 4. When we did the consultations, immediately after the consultations, the National Works Agency would have begun to scope a lot of the roads that were announced in the consultations. A couple weeks ago, I reached out to members of parliament, asking them if they could advise, based on consultations, what are the two priorities.
Not members of parliament. Members of parliament. Parliament is singular. All right?
Priority roads they have. Many members of parliament would have responded to us and given us those 2 roads. Sadly,
Hot off the press, welcome,
because
sir.
a lot of the roads were scoped already, and we needed to start the project as we had already signed the contract, the government had to start with the roads that we scoped. Many colleagues on this side did not get their priority roads in the beginning. I never got my priority roads, and many other colleagues did not get it. What we decided to do, if you would listen, you would hear, is in work order 4 to ensure that as much of the priority roads that were chosen by colleagues from both sides are included in work order 4. I'm announcing them now, most of them, because the previous 3 work orders were the roads that were scoped and were ready to give to China Harbor. So what we have done is we have ensured that the priority ones that you chose are now in work order 4. So if you would listen, Kingston Central, Waganet Crescent, McWhitney Street, if that's the proper pronunciation. Yes, McWhitney. Kingston Western, Upper Church Street, Greenwich Street, St. Andrew Western, Longfellow Avenue, West Bay Farm Road. Those are the 2 that you had asked for, remember? St. Andrew Eastern, Tavern Crescent, Confidence View Lane. St. Andrew East Rural, Middleton Settlement, and 2-3 to Jack Allen and turn off to Freetown. St. Andrew Southern, opposition leader, you had raised concerns. Collie Smith Drive, Lincoln Crescent. Those are the 2 that you had asked for. St. Catherine South, Western, Water Lane, Bushy Park. St. Catherine East Central, Power Avenue, and Dover Avenue, Daisy Close, and Queens Avenue. Now let me explain why St. Catherine, and I don't see the member here, why he has gotten 4 roads. Orlando, Member Terrell. Let me explain.
Orlando put out, as in Carl, she the name. She put out a bullshit today. Orlando Terrelang said, may I go and play Parliament, and we get to, may I put Orlando Terrelang in a studio. Make Orlando Terrelang tell you the bullshit for himself. Me can't repeat bullshit.
So the reason he has gotten them is that his roads, some of them are 100 meters long. So it wouldn't have made sense to go into a community, a housing scheme, and do a 100-meter road, and then right around the corner is another 100-meter road, and you leave it and come back. So because his roads are 100 meters, 150 meters long, we decided to do 4 of these small roads. And the St. Catherine Northeastern, Facey and Cool Shade, St. Catherine South Central, Homestead Boulevard, St. Catherine Central, William Street and Eltham Boulevard, Manchester Southern, Ebenezer School Road, Top Road, Rose Hill, Manchester Northeastern, Mickey Pipe House Road and Heavy Tree Waterloo, St. Elizabeth Southeastern, Broomfield and Queensbury, St. Elizabeth Southwestern, Slipe. The member was very adamant that Slipe needed to be repaired. Fuller's Wood to Slipe to Frenchman. Wire Road. We have Westmoreland, Western, Townhead, Hanover Eastern, Claremont, Hanover Western, Richmond to Cocoon, and Akenish to Clifton, Trelawney Northern, Samuel Prospect, and Road 22, St. Anne Southwestern, Hammerton to Greenhill, Portland Western, White River, and Commodore. Let me tell members, and members need to understand. This is the 4th work order since February. We are issuing a work order every week. So work order 5. We will be announcing work order 5 in about next week, which will carry another tranche of roads for members. I wish to move on now to the South Coast Highway Improvement Project. So the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project is another testament to our commitment to infrastructure development. A $575 million US project. I can announce today that the project is 96% complete.
Charmaine CW, good evening. We have taken a break from one set of bullshit to bring you another set of bullshit.
My Portmore family, listen. You see when Portmore residents, Sister Terry Lang, fix up new road, what's up? But big house. Yeah? So now the house and the road match. Watch you again. But bigger house. Because guess what? Under the Jamaica Labour Party, with an MP like Terry Lang, when we have fixed up road and fixed up community, but community, road, match your house, don't it? On a soon start skate. Pick up on yourself. One love.
And back to the other set of bullshit. So, Terry Lang said, the road where I fix cause people fear build big house. Lord Jesus. I don't want to lose my temper nor my grace this evening. Let it slide, Orlando. Let it slide, Orlando. Orlando, let it slide.
With 2 major components, Part A, Mapens to Williamsfield Toll Road, and Part B, Harborview to Yallas Bridge, covering 7.4 kilometers of a 4-lane highway already open to the public. Works are progressing on the Yallas to Port Antonio and Morant Bay to Cedar Valley legs, which span 123 kilometers of 2-lane roadway. I want to jump to a very important announcement, which is the Port Antonio bypass. The government is prioritizing an $81 million Port Antonio bypass project to improve travel efficiency, reduce congestion, and support regional economic growth. Working with the Ministry of Finance to secure funding and expected to commence in the 2nd quarter of this financial year. The bypass will span 7 kilometers with a 4-lane design and will provide an alternative route to ease congestion in Port Antonio. Each lane will be about 3.5 meters wide. The bypass and Port Antonio, well, Port Antonio is a critical hub for tourism and agriculture, but suffers from chronic traffic congestion, unsafe pedestrian conditions, and limited connectivity. This project will play a key role in the regional development by unlocking economic potential and enhancing mobility. The cabinet will, on Monday of next week, contemplate the Port Antonio bypass, and I'm confident that it will have the support of the cabinet so that it can commence in short order. Also want to speak about the bridge program. Colleagues would have been very concerned about the state of our bridges. Jamaica has 800 bridges, many of which are aging and require urgent repairs or replacement. To access this, to accelerate this program and to fix our bridge infrastructure, we have launched the accelerated bridge renewal process with the support of the Ministry of Finance. This bridge program is funded through a combination of recurrent and capital budgets and will be implemented over the medium term. We also have the Priority Bridge Program, which will be dealing with critical bridges, some of which have already started. We can announce that the Troy Bridge is over 50% complete, which is a $230 million investment.
Over 50% complete. I wonder by what measurement? I wonder how you measure the completion, Mr. Morgan.
The Spring Village Bridge is at 5%, which is a $250 million investment.
5% complete. Can you say 5% of something is completed or 5% of the work has been done? Which would be more appropriate to say? 5% of the 100% of the project is completed or they done 5% of the work. Which how would it be, how would it sound, how would it better phrased? Coming a thing tell us say 5% of 100 complete is much to speak about. I would rather want to hear say them do 5. I don't know. Anyway, he may be right, he may be wrong. I don't know. I'm just confused.
The Craig Mill Bridge in Portland, valued at $170 million, is in emergency procurement, but a footbridge is to be constructed at a cost of $30 million. Southwood in Clarendon, Barham in Westmoreland, Guanaba Vale in St. Catherine have completed feasibility studies and are moving to the PIMS appraisal phase. The Mahogany Vale Bridge in St. Anne is being repackaged, in St. Thomas is being repackaged and retendered to facilitate completion. And we just awarded a contract of $30 million for some urgent repairs to the Alley Bridge.
60K, welcome.
Hello, person to hear that? Can't complain no more.
Just 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
The member's time for speaking having been expired, I beg to move that it be extended sufficiently for him to complete his presentation. In the normal run of things, Mr. Speaker, you know I would have asked for a specific time, but the member assures me that it will be done within 5 minutes. May it please you, Mr. Speaker.
Members, the request is on the floor. Minister. Thank you. Members, the request is on the floor for the extension of time allotted to the minister. Those in favor? Those against? Ayes have it. You may continue, Minister.
Mr. Boo, thanks for the follow.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I won't be long. The Reach Road Repair Program and the $2 billion Reach Emergency Island-wide Main Road Patching Program actively address deteriorating road conditions caused by severe weather events, including Hurricane Beryl and Tropical Storm Raphael. The emergency patching program is 80% complete, while the broader $3 billion repair initiative is progressing steadily with phase 1 of the constituency-based program.
So there are two Reach. You have the emergency Reach, which is a $2 billion project. And then there is a $3 billion or $3.5 billion Reach project, which is separate to Sparks. You are aware of that.
From between September last year to December at 72% complete. And both phases, phase 1 and phase 2 of the constituency-based aspect, will be completed by June 2025. Madam Speaker, I know a lot of colleagues are interested. But as a background, the Prime Minister would have announced the $2 billion Reach Emergency Program last year. It was not a patching program strictly, but included milling and paving and minor drain works. The program significantly relieved motorists and other road users and rehabilitated several of our main roads. We spent more on road work, Mr. Speaker, we spent more on road work last year than we have ever spent in the history, the independent history of our country. And I heard a lot of...
You heard that? I'm sure you heard. Nesta said them spend more money Pan Road last year than the independent history of Jamaica. Don't ask me what he means. I would be able to help you.
Statements, colleagues, over the last several weeks about roadworks. And I just want to read to you some of the allocations that have been made.
Nesta, I go lay it out pan uno now. But what I want you all to ask Nesta when Nesta finish, if so, if it is true what you have just said, where would all those money have gone to? And if those money were spent, why would it that the roadway got to a state where the Prime Minister have to declare it as a national emergency? Lay it out for them, Mr. Morgan.
Made to roads over the last, let's say, 13 years. In 2014-2015, the estimated allocation to the National Works Agency for emergency road repairs, river training, gullies, bridge development, maintenance of secondary roads, traffic management, and island-wide disaster mitigation was $202 million. Eventually, they ended up selling million. Let me do it again. The estimates of expenditure tabled in the Parliament gave the National Works Agency in 2014-15 $200 million. They eventually spent $562 million. In 2015-16, the estimates of expenditure tabled in this house for the categories I listed, emergency repairs, river training, gullies, and so on, was $523 million. They eventually spent, well, that's what they spent, $523 million. In the revised estimates of 2016-2017, there was a spending of $2 billion. So compare 2016-2017, 2015-16, 2014-2015, and compare ours 2016-2017 of $2 billion. But that's not it alone. Our expenditure, remember, we're coming from 2014 where only $500 million was spent. No, literally spent. In 2014-15, only $562 million was spent on roads in Jamaica. Compared to 2017-2018, where this Andrew Holness administration spent $3.8 billion on roads. And in 2018-2019, we spent $5.3 billion on roads. In 2021, Minister Williams, under COVID, we had to go down to $4.5 billion, and in 2021-2022, we went to 4.8. But when we revised the estimates in 2021-2022, we spent $7.1 billion on roads. 2022-2023, revised estimates, $6.2 billion. Minister, 2023-2024, $7 billion was spent on roads by this administration. And here's the
Station, when you book up Nesta Road, when you go and figure ask Nesta say, Panwish Road. The road where the dopey them walk pan, the road where the dopey them fix. Because Wholeness and Nesta need to tell the people of Jamaica. The money when Nesta just a layout to it so. When and where, Prime Minister, were those monies spent? Because if you every year, Prime Minister, is spending billions on our roadway, how come they fall into the position, the situation, Prime Minister, where you have to declare them a national galangin so? You don't need to tell me what them billions when they start line out to it. You don't need to tell me, and I'm going to tell you because I don't know, so we come out on the mouth a lie. Take we hand and lead, we can't go show we. The road we not talk about, so we not spend billions pan. Billions easy to call, you see. And the oldness government make we know say billions are easy something to call.
the thing. 2024, because we are at the beginning of the financial year. 2024, 2025, $8.785 billion has been spent on roads in Jamaica. But Mr. Speaker, this is the largest expenditure that has ever been spent on roads infrastructure in Jamaica. Never before, no other government has invested as much in our road infrastructure.
Andrew, teach another one word, no other government. What we are not saying in Honesta, we now say the money not disbursed or not disbursed, allocated on an annual basis in the budget. The challenge, Nesta Morgan, is for you to lead with cargo show with which one of the road them billions they spend on. It's not hard, you know. You are Everard Warmington supposed to know where those roads are because of Uno and Anjo Panty minister. So Uno, but you and Warmington, Uno have to know which part them road there. And you can take away and lead. We will make a carry in a wire fence and maca, but we want to see the road. We hear the amount of billions when Esther Morgan church out lay down in front of it. A whole heap it can do. But what we have seen and heard from the Prime Minister said, sake of this, sake of that, and sake of the other, the whole thing come tumbling down for me. 5% complete, Nesta. 5% of a man, Nesta Morgan.
So, to continue or to start another year of record expenditure on our infrastructure in Jamaica, we're starting, Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, we're starting where we started in 2016. We're starting with 1.5. So for this financial year, as part of the quarterly patching program, we're allocating $1.5 billion to road infrastructure for quarterly patching. Remember, there are 4 quarters in a year, you know. So if we're starting with 1.5, you can contemplate the other 3 quarters plus other monies that are...
Right. You heard Nesta Morgan here, where he spoke about using 1.5 million or billion, whatever the money is, for the first quarter, and then there's 4 quarters in the year. It would tell you that they're going to spend 1.5 million or billion, whatever, per quarter. When Nestor Morgan was asked by Paul, Nestor Morgan said no, so him say, listen to Nestor Morgan again.
$1 billion was spent on roads by this administration. And here's the thing, 2024, because we are at the beginning of the financial year, 2024, 2025, $8.785 billion has been spent on roads in Jamaica. But Mr. Speaker, this is the largest expenditure that has ever been spent on roads infrastructure in Jamaica. Never before, no other government has invested as much in our road infrastructure. So, to continue or to start another year of record expenditure on our infrastructure in Jamaica, we're starting, Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, we're starting where we started in 2016. We're starting with 1.5. So for this financial year, as part of the quarterly patching program, we're allocating $1.5 billion to road infrastructure for quarterly patching. Remember, there are 4 quarters in a year, you know. So if we're starting with 1.5, you can contemplate the other 3 quarters plus other monies.
So basically, he's telling you $1.5 billion every 3 months to do road patching maintenance or whatever he think he wants it to do. But just bear with me. We don't have long left to go because Philip Paulwell is going to come up after him and ask him a question about the 1.5 billion per quarter. And that's the answer.
That are slated. We will spend $1.5 million on road rehabilitation through our quarterly patching program over the next 3 months to continue the work we started last.
1.5 billion is going to spend over the next 3 months, Nestor. So the 1.5 billion is not to spend over the 4 quarters, is per quarter. That's the understanding Nestor Morgan gave us. But when question Nestor Morgan said,
last year under the REACH programs, we are going to rehabilitate community roads and also improve infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, we are building a Jamaica that is more connected, more resilient, and more prosperous. Our investment in roads, bridges, water supply, sewage, fiber optics, drainage, intersection improvements, traffic signals, sidewalks, street light signage, and road markings reflect a holistic approach to national development. As we move forward, we remain steadfast in our commitment to delivering on infrastructure works that serve the needs of every Jamaican. Let us build a future that is strong. And before I leave, I want to just run through some of the projects that we're doing. Grange Lane, $925 million.
Paulwell, I believe, is going to ask this question.
Mr. Speaker, I do anticipate that my colleagues on this side will have many questions to raise, but in relation to the presentation by the Minister, I have noted the progress update. And the first thing that struck me, Mr. Speaker, is the fact that under the Spark program, we are seeing a total of 168 roads, adding that last 42 to be started. And I do have a question as to the capacity. China Harbor is the main contractor. Perhaps the minister could explain to us what is there in terms of subcontracting,
Love
but
and Burnett,
certainly
how are you?
we have never seen capital projects being undertaken at this pace. So I want to be assured, and I'm sure the country would want to be assured, that there's a capacity for doing this. And I'll just explain to you one of the reasons. We, in my own constituency, under the REACH program, I was told that the contractor could not acquire enough asphalt to complete the patching works. So I would like to understand in relation to this 168 roads, whether or not there's capacity in terms of the work, the role of the contractor, subcontracting, but also the materials that would be necessary for such works to be completed.
I will ask for your road.
Minister, you have spoken about the Southern Coast Highway project, and you have mentioned that it is now 96% complete. Minister, every time I drive that side of the country, I'm seeing road repairs being done on that roadway, which should be now a new highway. Every time I go there, I see the road being repaired, dug up and being repaired subsequent to what we thought was their completion. So the chaos continues there. But you've also mentioned today the Port Antonio bypass. And I don't wish to speak on behalf of the Member of Parliament over there, but I am sure that the experience that we would have gotten from the St. Thomas roadway, which created such chaos, dust, upheaval for the people of St. Thomas and Portland, would like to know what assurances are being given to this Port Antonio bypass. And just to be a little parochial, recently the Prime Minister did announce that as part of the Southern Coastal Highway project, that major drain problem on Harbor Drive would be repaired, and also a promise was given in relation to Windward Road. Can you say where the funds are for that? And then one other clarification, you just mentioned that 1.5 billion will be spent per quarter during this financial year. Huh? Well, can you clarify? You said 1.5, I heard 1.5, so it means that you'll be spending 6 billion for the year. Well, I am seeking clarification, and if you can explain how will those roads be identified?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So there's no asphalt shortage in Jamaica. Before the REACH program was announced, the government engaged Petrojam, which is our main supplier of bitumen, which is the main component in asphalt. And they assured us and they provided us evidence of this source of asphalt. Now, I cannot speak for an individual contractor and his ability to procure asphalt when it's needed. What I can say is that there's absolutely no shortage, to the extent where we have to be exporting surplus bitumen to other Caribbean countries, earning us foreign exchange based on the amount that we have. So I can't speak to an individual contractor's capacity. I can only speak to the capacity of the state institution, which is Petrojam, and the enterprise contractor who has 4 asphalt plants and is engaging with other contractors who themselves have asphalt plants. You asked whether or not
bear with my peeps. It soon come back. Every time, what I was trying to do is to use my Edge browser to open Facebook to see if I get to Dr. Dawes' conference, but
to engage. But based on discussions with them, they have spoken to us about some of the top grade one contractors across the island who have already been going around into various communities and examining roads that they have been assigned by China Harbor to do. So we have no challenge there. In my discussions with them, they'll be renting equipment from local contractors. They'll be using facilities belonging to local contractors. So what you will see is not a situation where they take everything, but where they have to, because of the scale of the project, it is 4 packages stretched across the entire island. We plan this year to probably go to 250 roads in this financial year, or this, by the end of this calendar year. We're already at 168, and we have about another 80 to go before April, May. So we're confident that they have the capacity. Your question regarding the South Coast Highway Improvement Project, do remember that as a part of the project, there is a thing called a defects liability period, which stretches for 2 years. That 2-year defects liability expressed a significant amount of appreciation that this Andrew Holness government has put St. Thomas on the map.
you just make it some move.
We would fix it under the Spark Main Road program. And the other one that you spoke about, Windward Road, I will research that and come back to you. I said that we're starting with $1.5 billion and we have 4 quarters. So imagine what we'll do for the rest of the year. I never said we're going to spend $6 billion. I said we're starting with $1.5 billion as we started in 2016 with one.
Yeah, but you said $1.5 billion for the road patching for the first quarter. You never said $1.5 billion that will do road patching over the 4 quarters. That's not what you said. You gave us the impression as if it was 1.5 billion per quarter, Nestor Morgan. That's the impression you gave us.
1.5. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
Enough of you and the lies. Now, Dr. Dawes had a press conference on the health sector today. Look, while when you see my computer freeze up, I try to open Facebook. For whatever reason, when I try to access Facebook, it crashes my computer. So I won't be able to bring you the press conference because every time I access Facebook on my computer, it crashes it. So there you go for that. But that press conference is on the People's National Party Facebook page if one wants to watch it. And it's too long for me screen record. I like to screen record more than 10 minutes or anything. But the whole press conference, to be honest, was interested. But, you don't know, PNP no like over YouTube, me no like over Facebook. So the two away have a fear of something. But I don't know if the Andrew Holness government can tell us where some of those money when they start line out today, where it go, what them do with it, and all that. And we're going to keep our ears to the ground to make sure, say, if Paul Brown is coming, go run for a seat, we're going to ball even harder. And make everybody know, so when Paul Brown was living in the United Kingdom, Paul Brown is a con man and a fraudster and a con artist. Anything Paul Brown touch, mash up. So if Paul Brown get a constituency, you know say everything in that constituency they mash up. And your wholeness only a pull Paul Brown in the midst because Paul Brown is a damn good thief. Paul Brown is a damn good thief. So we keep our eye on Paul Brown and Andrew. Because if Paul Brown think to say, I should selling wife out of house and home and left her high and dry and leave her homeless, he might go run through the Jamaica people purse and we're going to turn a blind eye like all of Birmingham, turn a blind eye when you rip off your wife. Paul, don't get me started. So you know the best thing you do, Paul? Stay far from the public purse. Stay far from the public purse, Paul. You're a con artist. You con your way through life in England and you come back to Jamaica, come turn businessman. Do your business, Paul, and leave the public purse alone. Here we want you. Here we want you, Paul. Leave the public purse alone. I might not have to find your wife and interview her. Careful, Paul Brown. Can look like Paul Brown I threaten people and
general elections. He defeated businessman Paul Brown in a runoff on Sunday with 73 votes to 52. Mr. Brown, while acknowledging defeat, urged his disappointed supporters to move forward and do what is needed to ensure the JLP wins the constituency.
36 years. And if somebody wants to represent this constituency have to meet all factions and come together. If the person wins, we want to meet our persons, our people here. I'm happy to meet with them. Until they are big enough to do that, then they will stand where they are. Do you think, my final question, do you think you are the most suitable person?
Mr. Brown's supporters are questioning the process, claiming that prior to the selection exercise, Mr. Powell had already been interviewed.
I'd ask you, Mr. Brown, if you can provide us your resume. Ingrid, how are you? Welcome. If you can provide us your resume, Mr. Brown, as well as tell us the money that you used to start your business when you left Birmingham and went home to Jamaica. Where did you get that money from? Where did you get that money from? Yes, Ingrid, because we're soon done here now. Where did you get that money from? Was it from the proceed of your con articism? Or was it from selling the house and leave your wife homeless and high and dry and go off to Jamaica to start a new life? Mr. Paul Brown. Just walk far from the public purse. You thief your way through life, you con your way through life, Mr. Brown, and you become a successful businessman. Don't know how legitimate, Mr. Brown. Stay from the public purse. You never make it in England, you try hard, but you mash up a lot of things. Your relationship, your family, everything, you just mash up and move on. That's the Paul Brown for you. Mash it up and move on, Paul. Yes, that is the Paul Brown. Stay away from the public purse. Andrew have enough dunce there already, Paul Brown. Andrew pocket full of dunce. Andrew have enough teeth, even though we know the teeth not enough for Andrew. But Andrew have enough teeth and enough dunce. Focus on your business, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, focus on your business. Focus on where you rob and thief from your wife, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown is a wicked man, you know. Mr. Brown is a devious man. If Mr. Brown's wife never trang, you would have hear woy. Donovan, welcome. If Mr. Brown's wife, James Brown, how are you? Real sweet. Never trang, you would have hear woy. Stay away from the public purse. We'll keep an eye upon you. And your wholeness, more and more the mess is dabbling around you when it comes to seat selection. Because this time in Andrew Wholeness, the delegates aren't united. The supporters, Andrew Wholeness, they're not united either. Your base, Andrew Wholeness, is very hungry. They don't even want to come out to work. You know, so the owner of the stage, make a look for it. What the man name? Edmund Bartlett. On a stage one galang in, I usher Edmund Bartlett through empty crowd. And when you think that never enough, when you have people, I use their hand and I part the crowd, and nobody not in front of them, anybody, I part the crowd. Whole Ed Bartlett running waist. Don't go there, Wayne. Don't go there. But Ed Bartlett in your belly skin blows. Don't go there, Wayne. Just don't go there. Don't go. Oh, it wasn't your sound, Debbie Jervis. It was mine. Sorry. It wasn't your sound. It was mine. As media said, Edmund Bartlett look like in cut out a cardboard. Do it over again, Edmund Bartlett, because it never do good. We don't need to buy some crowd put a front. Because we never have enough crowd at back. And the fact that you know, realize you don't need crowd at front because the guy have his hand apart the empty ear, Edmund Bartlett. We don't run out of KFC money. I mean, Labour supporters good enough with KFC. We couldn't get, if you put 100 KFC or 50 KFC, say 50 people in front of what you already had there. But you need people in front, Edmund Bartlett. You can't part crowd. Part in the Red Sea, Edmund Bartlett, without a rod. Why we tired of this staging? But more and more, when you show up on yourself, Edmund Bartlett, where your belly skin prettier than your face. Edmund Bartlett, where the man hold you around your waist, like you cut out a cardboard, Edmund Bartlett. Your belly skin, Edmund Bartlett. And if I look, we look for it, but we see it kind of on display. Your belly skin look better than your face. Just to say. Why this man have to hold Edmund Bartlett running? Who was there trying to attack Edmund Bartlett? Wasn't it only Dunn's Hungry Labor Rights that was in there? It was only Dunn's Hungry Labor Rights. So I don't see why the excitement of the crowd big, so that we have to part empty air to bring Ed through. We're not fed up of them. Talk to Jamaica. We're not fed up of them. Because nothing with them I don't make no sense. Me don't know who fed up of them, but me fed up. When a man come and hold up Edmund Bartlett round in way suffer, what was that about? Him and the man were part the empty air with his hand. What was them two men about? If we not set up the thing, we not do it, go down fool, we go down. Don't go half a fool we. Ransford McLean, how you do? Them there did half a fool. Them there not a full. It never work. We see say the crowd never did it. Or you should have take the crowd from back on, put in front on. Because the narrative one our try to pull off how the crowd tick, we don't have to usher him through. The crowd needed to be at the front, not at the back. Him need to make him way through the crowd. But the crowd was behind him, while one man hold on tight pan him belly skin, and the other man apart the empty crowd with him hand. What next, Ed Bartlett? What is next? Anyway, them a JLP. What can you expect? Thank you all my people for being here tonight on the Global Television Group. Tell Edmund Bartlett say, cut off him belly skin and fix him face with it. And that him fiddle. When them come out here play a bullshit pan with taxpayers' money. Or then girl will want pretty face. You can't sell your belly skin for anybody who want to make face, Edmund Bartlett. Because your belly skin look like face material to blood. Anyway, me God before this stood out in a riot. My peeps, thank you very much for being here with us this evening because me can manage the JLP them. I just cannot manage them anymore because it looks like they're just created gimmicks, you know? Them just created as gimmicks. And you just have to grunt and bear it with them. Grunt and bear it. Let's take you out with the Lipstick Queens. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Have a lovely rest of the evening.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta and sell out. I sell out Babylon. Yes, come on the Friday. Give a show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing. Give a show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Thank you all very much for watching. Good night, and join us right back here tomorrow morning for your At a Glance program. Thank you for watching.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all.
Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.